This week, convicted rapist Nicholas Ninau was sentenced to life imprisonment for the rape of a 7-year-old girl. Despite the fact that he had pleaded guilty to the crime, the young victim was still required to testify in court. Now, testifying isn't an easy experience, even for an adult. It can be even more traumatic for a child. So how do you prepare them for the moment? Well, with a little help from a few furry friends, Clemawisa has the story.
All rise.
Maybe seated.
Case number 123. The state versus Mr. William Smith.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Mr. Smith, you are charged with the theft of Miss Serena Jones' television set in the...
This isn't a day of just fun and laughter. What you've just seen is part of a crucial process to prepare a child for possibly the most challenging day of their life, the day they have to testify in court. Meet Shiloh. She's the magistrate in court today. Shadow, the court orderly. Yazzie, the prosecutor. Zoe, the defense lawyer. And Cadbury, the defendant. They are some of the dogs that passed the assessment process for this volunteer program.
This is groundbreaking. We are change makers, where dogs are actually dressed in the uniform of the court personnel, and children are given the opportunity to identify the respective members in the courtroom and their roles and responsibilities.
Dr. Shahida Omar is the director of the Teddy Bear Clinic, spearheading the dog therapy program, preparing young victims of crime for their day in court and helping to allay fears of the criminal justice system.
And historically, if we look at disadvantaged population groups and the indigenous population groups, there's been an enormous fear, an immense fear of police officers and dogs. With the dogs, we have actually tried to break down the stereotype that not all dogs bite. They start realizing, and it breaks down that negative connotation or negative association with police as well, that not all police hurt or not all people out there are bad.
Belinda Lamb is a group leader in the dog therapy program. I understand you're all volunteers.
Yes, we are.
So does that mean that I could also come with my dog?
Of course. What you'd have to do, though, you'd have to do an assessment.
So what is it that makes this process so unique?
There are, in the States, a group doing the same and taking dogs into the court. I believe that we are the only group anywhere that actually dresses the role of the court. So everybody is identified with a role in the actual court. And this helps the children, because apparently the process can take up to about 2 years before they get to court.
Sexual offences against children, as in the case of convicted rapist Nicholas Ninau, has a devastating effect on children and their families. One of the fathers that attended the court preparation program explains.
The trauma that children is going through is very hard. But we didn't know. It was right from 9 years old. He was locked up now under 6 months of this year. But he's out on bail. He's still harassing, but we miss him a bit.
15-year-old Balisa was viciously attacked by a perpetrator known to her.
I was assaulted when I was 14 years old. I was assaulted by my grandfather's girlfriend. She assaulted me, pouring me with hot water and hitting me with a broomstick.
Many children are left with short and long-term psychological and behavioral problems. Desperate to find help for her and her daughter, Thandi turned to the Teddy Bear Clinic for help.
She wasn't listening to me and she was just rebellious. Like she's got anger inside herself, but she wanted to show it out. And then at the end of the day, you don't know what the child wants. You don't know what you have to do. So we went for counseling.
But after all the counseling and preparation, it ends up in court, where the already traumatized children have to face the harsh reality of the law. There are numerous challenges when it comes to children having to testify in court, including high levels of anxiety and a foreign environment. And under these conditions, children find it even more difficult to articulate themselves.
Children do feel anxious much quicker than adults. Not knowing what they are going to encounter when they come to court is, of course, causing severe trauma to children.
Karina Kutsia is a senior prosecutor in the National Prosecuting Authority.
They already been traumatised due to the offence that had been committed, and to give evidence in that formal atmosphere as court, and the way that we speak in court, of course, causes a child immense trauma if they have to testify in open court.
Some children might even feel that participating in the criminal justice system is actually a punishment, and that being part of the trial means that they are on trial.
A child hops from one point to the next. They don't have structure, they don't have logic, they don't have flow. The perception is that if somebody jumps from one thing to one part of a story to the other and jumps back and leaves out stuff and all that, then they're not telling the truth. And to be able to give accurate, coherent, clear, chronological evidence, it's not possible.
Child Witness Institute CEO Karen Holliday is the co-author of a child witness preparation research project.
You also have to look at the child's socio-emotional development. Do they understand that what happened to them was wrong? Because they don't understand what is happening to them, they internalize this confusion. They internalize this fear. They internalize all of the feelings that they have while it's happening, because the rest they don't understand.
So in helping children understand and work through the trauma of violence, animal-assisted therapy and conventional counseling have proven to be very successful in improving children's confidence.
My experience with the dogs was very therapeutic. They really helped me. They made me feel more calm. There was no stress around them. We didn't feel any need to be afraid at that point or fear what is going to happen in the future.
Empirical-based evidence to support that by exposing children to furry animals, the touching and the exposure creates a sense of well-being, the endorphins, and it also reduces the stress hormones, the cortisol levels.
We had a little girl. She's been coming for, I think, 5 or 6 months. No communication, nothing. After the 4th visit, there's communication. She's smiling, she's interacting. And the child is hopefully starting to relax, and eventually will start communicating with their people and therapists, and obviously make the court process as such much more comfortable for them. It is very emotional for us.
Are we doing enough in that court prep currently? Are there places perhaps where we could improve?
Well, one always tries to develop, so I think that is also where the animal-assisted court preparation had come in. The court preparation program does work. I remember that children were far worse witnesses than what they are now. If witnesses feel more at ease, they can contribute more positively to the trial.
A child can participate effectively in a criminal justice system, and it can be a good experience for them.
When I appeared in court, and the first thing I thought of is, oh, the dogs. The dogs really helped me understand more, and I could actually make out what and who the person is by what they are wearing. I could understand who is on my side, who is not on my side.
No further questions. I close the state case.